So everybody, it's time for unripe fruit. Yeah, sounds weird, right? Well, that's because it is. And unripe fruit is something that people eat in many different countries, including the US. We eat unripe fruit here too. Certain regions, anyway. But one place where unripe fruit is very commonly eaten is in the Middle East. And I've come across like a few different instances of this, and this is just like one of those instances. There's also things like the Cornelian cherry, which is sometimes eaten unripe there, and the almonds are eaten unripe there. Apricots are eaten unripe there, and this is plums. These are unripe green plums. And they're about the size of, oh, what is that? Like a very large cherry, maybe. And how these are normally eaten is with salt, or it's sometimes used for cooking, or to make fruit leather out of, or it's used in different sauces and things like that. But if you were to eat this on its own, people don't normally just pop it in their mouth. They'll sprinkle a little salt on it first to cut down that sourness a little bit. Pretty interesting, and I actually like unripe fruit. It's something that I've had in Malaysia quite a bit. They have like the ambarella fruit, and unripe mangoes are popular there. There's a lot of unripe fruit in countries around the world. Just in the U.S. is kind of like not so popular, but we're gonna kind of like explore this a little bit. I think I'm gonna do like a few episodes actually digging into unripe fruit, and this is going to be the first of maybe a few other ones, depending on what I can find. So as I said, normally people eat these with salt, so I've got a little salt here, and in Malaysia they actually use this here, which is plum powder, which they'll put on fruit. I don't think it'll probably be good with this, because this is actually quite sour, but they'll put this on unripe fruit that does not have much flavor at all. So if they're going for something that just has like texture, they'll put a little bit of this on, which is a mixture of plums and sour plums and salt and a little bit of chili powder. Yeah, hot sauce is also really commonly used. But specifically about these ones, now I was looking these up online to get like a little bit more information about it, because frankly I've never seen them before. And a lot of places, a lot of like food blogs and stuff like that, you know, where they talk on and on about like cooking a dish, like, you know, in like this romantic sense. They go on for paragraphs and paragraphs, and then at the end there's like a little recipe. I hate those. Well, in this one, I actually read it, and they were going on about how these are used to make plum wine and umeboshi in Japan. It's not. It's not that fruit. This is not ume, okay? So these are sour plums, but these are not Japanese sour plums. Japanese sour plums are not plums at all. They are actually closer to an apricot. And if you've been watching my series, you probably remember that I made the mistake of reviewing those raw, even though they're poison. These are not poison, okay? You can actually eat these and they are fine. These are not the same thing as ume. These are not the same thing as the sour plums that exist in Japan. Different fruit right here. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to give this a taste just as it is, plain with nothing on it. It's good. It tastes, I was expecting this to be very sour. I was expecting this to taste like maybe a little bit like ume. I think I had that in my head. You know, even though I just said it's not, I kind of like expected it to taste something like that, like really sour and astringent. This is actually quite refreshing. There's no astringency to it. It's got like a little bit of a sweetness to it, and it's got like a light plum flavor. It tastes like a plum, like a regular plum, just more diluted. And the texture of it is crispy, which is kind of nice, which, you know, plums are not usually that crispy. This has like nice crunch to it. But also has a little bit of green taste to it. No bitterness. And the sourness is actually pretty low. It's got like a little bit of sourness to it, more than a plum would. But, like if a lemon is 10 and a 1 is water, I would put this around a 4. Maybe, yeah, around 4. Maybe around the sourness of like an orange. Maybe a little bit more than that. Somewhere around an orange. It's not that sour, which I actually wasn't really expecting that, but nice. It's a nice flavor. Okay, so let's try this again, but this time with a little salt on it. So I'm just gonna dab a little salt on the outside. And in the past, I have oversalted some of my fruits that I've put salt on, so I'm not gonna do that this time. Just a little dusting of salt, and let's give this a shot. Right on. It's good. It doesn't really do too much to it. It just gives it a little bit more kick. It tastes exactly the same. Sourness is about the same. Salt, you can use that to kind of cut the sourness in very sour fruits. This one, it doesn't really need that, so it just kind of gives it a little help. It gives it a little kick to give it a little bit more flavor. Actually, I'm going to try this with some of the plum powder. Pretty sure that the plums that are used in Malaysian plum powder is not the same as this kind of plum. I don't think it's ume either. I don't know what this stuff is. Okay, so I just powdered it up. Yeah, it's fine. I think I actually prefer the salt because it doesn't really need an additional flavor. This is, adding more to it. I don't think it needs it. It's just kind of like refreshing to eat. It's not something to pick up if you want like a big punch of flavor. It's something that you can eat if you want something just kind of refreshing and light and crunchy. Like eating like, a mild pear or rose apple or something. It's got like a nice crispiness to it. It's got a nice juiciness to it, and it's got like a subtle flavor to it as well. So it's nice. I'm enjoying this. I'd pick this up again for sure. If you want something to cook with, I don't think this is probably the best thing to use actually, because it is quite mild, which I wasn't expecting. So I just say pick this up and just eat it on its own with a little bit of salt, and you'd be good to go. Other than that, guys, I think that's all I have to say. So I'm going to keep looking around and see what other kinds of sour fruit or unripe fruit that I can find. Until then, bye. Okay, I only have 1 minute, so I have to make this fast. Guys, click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Click the subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that bell. I don't know what the bell does, but it probably gives an angel its wings, so click on it. That dislike button, don't click that one. Go to the comments, leave a comment if you have something to say. Go to this description, because in the description there is a link to my Patreon page where you can help contribute to my channel and make it grow. There's also a link to my website where you can see a backlog of videos, more information, and also you can buy a t-shirt at my website now. I want to give a special shout out to the channel Smarter Every Day, because Smarter Every Day is a mega contributor on Patreon. They're really helping me out. If you like what I'm doing with fruit, check out his channel because it basically covers everything involving science. It's really interesting. Also around there should be a couple of videos right here. These are the videos to my next week's episode if it's up, and last week's episode where you can check that out. I still have 3 seconds, guys, so thank you so much. Bye-bye.